Hi friends, it's good to be back. I'm glad that you are here. Welcome to my channel. I had a few of you reach out and ask for me to share about my experience moving to Switzerland, and so I thought I would just kind of take the time to share what transition has looked like for me over the last 6 months, what's been great, what's been hard, and kind of give some thoughts and advice for people moving or thinking about moving or even just in the middle of transition. So yeah, I thought we'd just kind of get into it. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Hannah. I am an American. I grew up, for the most part, I grew up in Ohio. I moved around a bit. And in 2017, I packed up my car with basically everything that I owned, and I drove all the way out to Redding, California to attend Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry, which is basically like a leadership school, ministry school, Bible school, all of the above. It's amazing. It totally changed my life. And I went out there and I met John Mark, who I started dating, and then we got engaged, and then we got married. We got married in the middle of COVID, which is crazy, and he's Swiss. So in September, we moved out to Switzerland. So it has been the wildest ride. It is, definitely the adventure. I've always wanted to live in Europe, and so it's super fun. I'm really grateful to be able to be here, but it's definitely come with a lot of challenges and a lot of learning curves. So I just thought I'd kind of share my thoughts around that. And my first thing that I would say to anybody is to really learn to embrace learning and failing in front of a lot of people. That was probably the most challenging part, and it's still something that I'm learning. You feel really capable because you're like, yeah, I can do stuff, and then you're thrown into a world where I'm like, I can't cook the way that you're used to. I don't know shopping the way that you're used to. There's 4 different languages and I don't speak any of them. So lots of different things: transportation, driving stick shift, measuring food and the time. All these different things are not what I'm used to. And so it's a huge learning curve, and you realize really quickly how you feel confident and you feel comfortable because you feel like you can do things, which makes sense. Like, you can go to the grocery store, you can get things done, you can do basic human life things. And then all of a sudden, you're in a country where they're like, we don't believe in dryers. I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't have dryers? And so everything is just new, and it's not bad, it's just different. And so I would say to be really okay with learning in front of people that know way more than you do, and just kind of like taking it by the horns and embracing it and letting it be what it is. It's better to just embrace it than to try to fight it. And it's good. I think when you start to shift your mindset around not knowing things, being okay with asking questions, being okay with failing, it really shifts a whole lot of things for you, and things don't feel scary or have the same power, authority, or whatever over you that you felt like they used to. Things don't have to be scary unless you let them be scary. The second thing that I would say is to remember that your capacity is way different in this season than it is normally. So you're probably not going to be able to get as much done as you normally can. And so I remember, like, especially in the beginning, to go grocery shopping was a huge ordeal for me. Having to walk to the train station, figure out how all that works, buy my ticket, get into the city, find what kind of food that I needed. I'm like, do they have this food? Do they have, like, where is it in the store? Is it in English? Is it in French? Is it in German? Is it in Italian? Is it another language? And at this point, my phone screen, I had dropped my phone and it had cracked, so you couldn't even really read anything on my phone. And I would like go up to the cashier, someone would be like, "Can you understand what I'm saying? Can you help me?" And they're like, "No, I don't. I can't do that." That would just take a lot of energy, where I could normally get in and out of store for 30 minutes. I'm there forever just trying to find stuff. By the time I get back, I was like, I'm done. I needed a nap. This is it. I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day. I'm so exhausted. And so it's a lot better now. I'm used to things more, but I think like just remembering like you're learning a ton, and especially if they're speaking wherever you are, if they're speaking different languages than what you're used to, that takes a whole lot of energy. I've had so many times where like at the end where I leave and there's just people speaking Swiss German and then French and all whatever, and by the time I leave I'm like, ooh, I'm tired. Trying to figure out what's happening and trying to figure out how to communicate with people can take a toll. So I'm not trying to do anything, at least in the first few months, I was not trying to do anything major. I was kind of just day by day taking it as I went. Next, I would say to prioritize making community and to do it more quickly as possible. Thankfully, we already had like some community already built here, which is like really amazing. I know it can be really challenging to make friends in different countries. And thankfully I had some experience with like moving around a bit throughout my life that like kind of helped me just figure out how to like make friends quickly. So that was like really helpful. But I feel like it's really, really great to have friends where you don't have to be on with. Like you can just kind of relax and be yourself and not feel like you have to be anything especially or like do anything. You can just be with them. Sometimes it's easy with like culture differences to feel like, is this okay? Am I saying the thing that's okay or whatever? Not even in a bad way, but you're just trying to be aware of things that you don't necessarily know to be aware of. And so it's really great to find people where it doesn't feel like a lot of pressure. You can just kind of relax. And I think the other thing that's been a huge, huge game changer for me is to find friends that have like a shared experience with me. That's like made a huge difference. So we have 2 friends specifically here that did first year of ministry school with me and with Joe Mark, and I didn't even know them while I was in school. But just having somebody that I have something I can relate on, where I'm not there's an area of my life with them where I'm specifically not trying to like explain or trying to get them to understand just what I experience or where I'm coming from. Like it's just something that we can like connect on. So having that has like helped me have a space where I feel like a part of the group, and that has been like really, really helpful. So you may not be able to have that, but whether you're finding expats or you're finding people that like something that you like, whether it's a sport or hobby or whatever, I think that that's really, really good, and just to prioritize doing that as fast as you can. Next, I would say have a heart for the people and the place that you're transitioning into. I think it was at school, I'm pretty sure, where somebody said you'll have no impact with people that you do not love. And so that's always stuck with me, and I'm really, really grateful, because people can pick up when you feel like you are bitter and resentful and don't want to be where you're at. People can feel that whether you're directly saying that or not. And so while don't ignore, like, there are things that you miss that's real. Like, okay, I miss Amazon. I miss Amazon so badly. But if I let that become like something that makes me bitter or angry or like, I hate Switzerland, it's just the worst. Nobody wants to be around that. And so I think it's really important that I've learned for me to be like, I'm an American and that's amazing. But I'm also here and this is my new country and these are people that I care about and I love. So what does it look like for me to truly like have that in my heart and then also express that to people around me? Lastly, I would say to remember that this is a long process. I feel like I've heard, like, I don't know how many years it takes where you're integrating and transitioning into a new country, but it is not short. And I think a lot of times when we get into transition, we're like, let's make this go quickly, please. Thank you very much. So it's really important. Even last night, I was having to remind myself, this is a long-term vision. Like, there's no expectation that you or I have to figure this out in like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Like, there's a lot of different layers. Right now I'm going to French school, learning to speak French. Woo-hoo. That is a whole journey, my friends, let me tell you. But it's good. There's going to be different stuff that comes up as the years pass. It's not going to look like the same thing, and I think that's totally fine. I think that's expected, and I think that's normal. So yeah. So those are kind of my thoughts on transition. Hope it was helpful, insightful. If there's things that you're interested in, just let me know. I know people like, I want to know about the food, and I want to know about what's different, all these different things. So just let me know. Give it a like. Hit subscribe. I'm going to be posting something every week. Just kind of give you a little insight into what my life has looked like here in Switzerland. So yeah, I love you all. Have a good week. Bye.